What's going on, everyone? So, the Golden State Warriors are an absolute dumpster fire right now. They are on a sinking ship, and it is sinking rather quickly. They lost another game once again to the Phoenix Suns on the road. It was a tight game, especially given the circumstances, but still, ended up losing the game. They are on a losing streak, 2-game losing streak, and currently sitting at 10-13 on the season. It's 3 games under 500. They are currently out of the play-in. It is very early, 23 games in, but there are a lot of cause of concerns for the Golden State Warriors. And there's nothing that I really see that can make, that I think will be that impactful of a change to where they just go on this crazy run outside of just Steph Curry just playing out of his mind or Klay Thompson turning back the clock. I just think that we're looking at a team that had their last run, won a chip, which is great, and are just they're falling apart. They're falling at the seams. Draymond Green can't keep his cool for longer than 5 minutes a game. I mean, the guy every game there's a new antic. Every game he's getting ejected or having these just like little spats or whatever. I mean, he played 17 minutes this game and got ejected for just a bonehead silly play. It's completely unnecessary. And he wants to cry, oh, I'm being targeted, I'm this and that. No, dude, it's your antics. It's your history. It's not like you've been this squeaky clean guy that has, no history of just doing anything. And it's like, now you have a couple bad moments and the NBA's taking it out on you. No, that's not the case at all. I mean, you've had a history your entire career of just being this knucklehead at times. The difference is that, one, the Warriors were winning and were really good. 2, Draymond Green was like ridiculous. From a defensive side of the basketball, from even just scoring the basketball, although he's been better shooting the basketball this season, but still, like, he's nowhere near the same Draymond that he once was. It's just Draymond used to be so valuable, so important, so impactful to the Warriors and the Warriors' success that everyone kind of just looked past the antics, right? It's like, well, this dude's winning championships every year. So it's like, you kind of let Draymond be Draymond. It's working. But now we're getting to a point where it's not working anymore. Every year you're scratching and clawing just to make the playoffs, and you lose last year, which I don't really knock them for, right? I mean, that's a series that a couple things and just went the wrong way, right? A couple things go a little different. Maybe it's a different series, right? But also, I just think the Warriors as a whole they've done a terrible job of putting together this team and making the tough calls, right? So real quick, you look at the Warriors right now. They are currently the 11 seed, as I mentioned, 10-13 on the season, 2-game losing streak. They are currently 2.5 games out of a play-in spot. Now, 2.5 games isn't a ton to where they can't make up that ground, but where do they make up that ground? Right? Like, the Pelicans have been better than them this year. The Rockets have been better than them this year. I don't see the Suns playing worse. Maybe the Clippers, but the Clippers, they just have so much firepower. I think that they probably get in over the way. Like, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors finish 11th. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be shocked at all. Right? And look, the Warriors have been better with when Steph is out of games and stuff like that. In the minutes that he's getting rest, they're not great, but they've been better. A lot of that has been because of Chris Paul this season. So when Steph is sitting on the bench, then you have Chris Paul who can kind of come in and help facilitate and take care of the basketball, not have as many turnovers. Like the Warriors have felt Chris Paul's impact. I think Chris Paul has impacted nicely. I just don't think that was the right move, right? Like, the Warriors are tiny. All offseason, all we heard about the Warriors, and look, I'm nowhere near a Warrior fan. If you're familiar with me and my channel, you know I'm a Laker fan. But all offseason, we heard how the Lakers just basically ran through the Warriors because they were too small, right? And the Lakers' size, and it was a big problem, and they had no answer, and they really needed to get bigger, and blah, 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 right? And the Lakers got bigger, and the Warriors got smaller. Like, instead of addressing their needs, and look, I understand Jordan Poole, his contract, all that stuff. You can't tell me that there's not some team that wouldn't have taken a flyer on him. Or you could have worked out some deal, or you could have turned Jordan Poole into some assets that maybe you could have used those assets to go get another player. I mean, the Pelicans were shopping Valanciunas before the season began, right? You may have been able to get Miles Turner. There was talks about the Pacers looking to potentially go and trade Miles Turner. Maybe you could have worked something out to go get, an Ayton or work on a 3-team or whatever. I don't know, right? But like, the last thing they needed to do was go get another point guard in Chris Paul. When they lack size, they lack toughness outside of Draymond, but Draymond's toughness is just becoming silliness and bullying, and his antics are too far. It's just, it's like the Warriors have no clear direction. They're hung on to the past. They're the high school quarterback that's 40, right? Balding a little bit, kind of a bit of a drunk, reminiscing about how great he was, and I have state championships and I'm this and the other. Man, I was something back in my day. Like, that's where the Warriors are at right now. Right? They were this dynasty, they were this amazing team that had this incredible run. And look, I don't think that should be forgotten. I don't think that that should be something that's looked past, but they need to start making the tough decisions. You got to pick a direction, because what you're doing right now isn't working. And Steph Curry is still ridiculous. Steph Curry is still Steph Curry. Now, Steph Curry had a bit of a rough game in the Suns game, but there's no question Steph Curry has been playing ridiculous basketball. And the guy has been A1, without a doubt, right? But how many more years does this guy have left? How many more years does this guy have where he's going to be playing to this level? Don't you owe him an opportunity to try to go win some more championships? Because you're not trading Steph Curry. So what are you going to do? You gave Draymond the max money or a new contract, right? And now what? You're going to pay Clay? And you're going to do the same thing with Clay? And you're just going to be in the same boat you're in right now? I don't know. I think they either need to, you go all in and you keep the core and you keep, Steph, Clay, and Draymond, and you hope come playoff time they can figure it out, and you go get a center and some complementary pieces, and you basically just push your chips to the table to try to win a championship right now or in the next few years, right? And you're basically trading Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody and everyone else. All your young guys you're basically taking, packaging together, and you're trying to go get, a center and some wing depth, right? Some 3-and-D guys, right? Can you go get, a Miles Turner, or like I mentioned, a Valanciunas or something like that? I don't know, right? Do you go get something to where, now you have some real size? You got Draymond at the 4, so basically you're going, Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, and then a center, right? Whatever that center is. Maybe you're going and getting Vu or something from Chicago, whatever, right? And you try to go that route, and you hope, okay, we get some real size, we get somebody that can make some plays out of the post, get somebody that can score in the post, stretch the floor a little bit. We got a real sizable big man. We got Looney who can come off the bench, play small ball in certain matchups. And you try to figure that out. Or what I think they should do is you try to go younger, but you still try to maintain and retool. So you look to trade Klay Thompson. You look to trade, basically everybody, essentially, right? But you kind of you make the tough call on the Klay Thompson move. You go and you trade Klay, and you try to go get a younger, more sensible piece, right? Maybe you go get maybe you work out a deal where you take Kuminga and Moody and whatever, and you try to go get a Pascal Siakam, and then you go and you take Klay Thompson and you take, whatever else, some picks or something like that, and you try to go get another star, another, more maybe point of attack guy or something. I don't know. And you just, you try to go and you push your chips to the table and you try to get a little younger, try to get a little more versatile, but at the same time, still be competitive enough and hopefully that you can right the ship and come playoff time, Steph Curry can be, Superman, and you have Chris Paul coming off the bench, and you have, a Pascal Siakam, and you're basically switchable with Draymond, Wiggins, and Pascal. Maybe, like I said, you go get a real center. I don't know. They got to do something. Because, the dynasty is over. They're not winning 3 or 4 championships. Could they win another one? Sure, of course. Right? Get a couple things to fall your way. The Warriors in the playoffs. Klay Thompson has a great run stretch in the playoffs. Steph Curry continues to be Steph Curry. Wiggins kind of improves from the way he's been playing, kind of gets back to like that championship run. Maybe you can go on a run. I mean, I don't have super confidence in it without some type of significant tweaking or overhaul. But I mean, again, you never know, right? It's like, it's like the Patriots in football with Tom Brady. Like, you never want to rule them out, right? You never want to rule the Warriors out. You never want to assume that the Warriors are done. They're finished, right? I don't want to do that. But they look like they're done. They look like they're finished. They look like a team that I just don't believe in them. I just don't think that they have a genuine chance. I don't see this team making the impact and really kind of, I just don't see them, I don't see anything changing. Like, I think it's far more likely that they miss the play-in entirely than they win an NBA championship right now. They're just not playing good basketball. And I don't see it changing. It literally takes Steph Curry heroics for you to win basketball games. It's not a good sign, right? And I just think the Warriors owe it to Steph to make that hard call and try to go win him an NBA championship. Try to go get him another one. At least if you do something and it doesn't work out, at least you could say you did, right? At least you could say, hey, we tried. Didn't work out, but hey, we tried to go and retool. Do that. It's why they got, Bob Myers stepped out, because he didn't want to be the bad guy. He had these relationships. He loved these guys, and he didn't want to have to be the bad guy. So that's why you made that change if you're the Warriors. And so far, no one's still willing to be the bad guy. At some point, you got to be the bad guy. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think, Warriors are done, they're cooked, stick a fork in it, it's a wrap, that dynasty is over? Do you think, no, they can still go on a run, never count them out in the playoffs? Do you think, no, they are unless they make some significant trade? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.